I can't believe that growing season is already over here in the UK. We are now officially in autumn, and yeah, it's kind of a little bit sad to know that my plants will soon be going into their kind of dormancy period for the autumn winter. Most of them will slow down in their growth or even stop altogether. And it is a little bit sad, but you know, that's just how nature works, and we have to take the seasons as they come. So today's walkthrough, I thought we'd just have a look at how the plants are doing and, you know, kind of see how much they've grown this year, which ones have grown the most, which ones have grown the least, that kind of thing. So yeah, come with me and we will have a look about. So we're starting off with this branched Ficus elastica Melanie. And the cool thing about this one is it's just popped out this little baby and it's just started growing. I thought that was so cute, so I had to show you that. But this is honestly the easiest plant that I have. It just is so good. I don't do anything to it. I haven't even repotted it, and it's just so easy. It's a really easy plant. Next is my Dieffenbachia Reva, and again this one is proved to be really easy care. I actually got this for a really good price. I think it was about £30, and yeah, it's huge and it really is taking off. When I first bought it, it did have a couple of spider mites, and I thought it may have a little bit of a fungal problem, but it seems to have settled in just fine, and it's growing really healthily, no more spider mites, and it's putting out some really large leaves. So yeah, pretty pleased about that. This is my Philodendron atabapoense, and this one actually is still growing at the moment. We've just started autumn here, but it is putting out a new leaf here. And it's getting quite tall now, so I think I may have to give it a bit of an extension for its support next year. But yeah, I love this one, and I always think it's a great alternative to the Spiritus Sancti. If you can't afford that one, this one is brilliant. It's got the most stunning kind of long silvery shaped leaves, and I just love it. And then over here, this is my Monstera adansonii mint. And this one is growing really well. It's got loads of new growth. It keeps on putting out new leaves. It still hasn't slowed down just yet, but I suspect it will soon. But it is getting quite tall now, and I'm actually quite pleased with how much this one has grown during this spring, summer. It's grown so much, considering it was just a little cutting. Well, two cuttings. At the moment, I have it on this cane. And then another plant that I'm so pleased with this year, this one has grown so much. This was my first growing season with this plant. This is the Philodendron Painted Lady, and it's just come on so well this year. And I'm really pleased with the progress it's made. It was just a little plant, and it's just really thriving. So next year I will definitely give this one a bit more of a substantial support. I did think that this Syngonium mojito might have been reverting, and I think it has sort of faded a little bit, but it doesn't seem to have reverted completely. I am still getting variegation on it, but the main thing is this plant is really healthy, and I did chop it right back at the beginning of spring, and it's just really filled out and become lovely and lush. So I'm really happy with how this one is coming out of the growing season. As we come to an end, it does tend to slow down, and yeah, same with this one really. This is the Syngonium white butterfly, and this was pretty small last year, and this year it's really climbed. I mean, it has grown so much. I've had to give it an extra pole, so it has a bit more room to climb there, but once it gets to the top of that one, I'll probably just keep chopping it back, to be honest, because it will get too tall at that point. But yeah, pretty pleased with this one. It really is a prolific grower. One of my fastest growers for sure. A plant that is still growing at the moment for me is this Hoya carnosa freckles. Look at all these cute little leaves that are currently still growing. It really is loving this spot. I dare not move it from this spot by the window because it really seems to be loving it here. And interestingly, it doesn't really get much grow light here. Maybe it gets a little bit kind of in the peripheral, but for the most part, it seems to be using the light from the window, so that's quite interesting. But it's really healthy, this one, and I'm absolutely loving it. And the fact that it's still growing makes me very happy too, because a lot of the plants are slowing down now, so it's just really nice to see some of them still putting out growth. This is my Hoya calistophylla, and I think I've bought this one a little too close to the end of the growing season. I think it may have grown one leaf, but I don't think it's going to take off until next year now. So I'm just glad to have this one in my collection. I'm just going to take care of it, and we will probably see it take off next year, I would imagine. But this was a Hoya that I had on my wish list for quite some time, so I'm really happy to have it in my collection. And yeah, watch this space next year for the growth on this one. One that has been growing quite a bit this year is this one. This is Peperomia prostrata, also known as the string of turtles. And this one has grown quite a bit actually this growing season. It was just like a tiny little plant when I got it. So the fact that it's now starting to trail like this is looking quite lush. I'm quite pleased with this one. And I did repot it because I bought this one in a tiny pot, so it did need a repot, but it seems to have been fine with that repot, and I expect I'll probably try and repot again next year, but I'm always a little bit hesitant to repot string of things, but this one seems to be okay, and yeah, pretty easy to care for so far as well. I'm hoping it will never get pests. And then over here, this is one that I think I've had this one for a year and a bit, something like that. And this is a rickrack cactus, and honestly this was just a kind of a few tiny little cuttings, and it's not the fastest grower, but it is taking off really well, and I'm pretty pleased with how it's coming along. And then over here we have my Dischidia Oiantha variegata. This one's got one really long vine here, and it's got some really pretty variegation on it too. The different vines have got different variegation, and this one here has more white in it, and it kind of looks a bit more marbly in places. I really like that about this plant, that it keeps putting out lots of kind of different types of variegation. I do enjoy it when a plant does that because it kind of keeps things interesting. And yeah, I think this one has grown pretty well this year. I do really love Dischidias. They are related to Hoyas, and yeah, they grow really easily for me so far, the two that I've got. Then I have my string of pearls, and this one is also doing really well. It's grown quite a bit this year. This is the first year that I've had this one, so first growing season, and it seems to be growing really well. It looks really lush and full at the moment, and it is trailing down quite a bit more than it was when we started as well. Another plant that has grown so much is my Epipremnum Aureum neon. This one was literally a tiny little plant last year, and it's now nearly touching the floor. I'm actually quite surprised at how fast this one has grown. Even though I know that Epipremnums are fast growers, this one has grown so fast, and yeah, I will definitely have to give it a trim next year because it's getting to the point where it's just too long, and it really does need a trim because it's going to be trailing on the floor soon if I'm not careful. But yeah, if you want a fast grower, this one is definitely the one to get. This has grown the most of probably all of my plants. It really has been prolific. And also another plant that has grown pretty fast this year is this Tradescantia pallida purple heart. And this is actually starting to trail, but Tradescantias do also have a habit of growing upwards as well, so they kind of take a while to trail. They need to get quite heavy, and this was also a very small plant when I bought it, and it has got quite large now, and yeah, it's very bushy. It doesn't fit in my windowsill anymore, so I have had to move it. I did have it in my kitchen windowsill and it looked quite nice there, but yeah, it's got too big. Another of my really fast growers this year is the Philodendron scandens Brazil, and this is definitely one of my favourite plants. I love the lime green splashes on it. This one has grown so much that it is literally nearly touching the floor now. And this one is definitely known for being a fast grower, but this one has, yeah, got to that point where I will have to trim it probably next year. Maybe make some more plants out of it and propagate them. We shall see. But yeah, if you want a plant that's going to grow really quick, a trailing plant, definitely get yourself one of these because they grow so fast and they have the most pretty heart-shaped leaves as well. And each one is different, as you can see. I really do love this plant, and it is a favourite of many people because it's so easy. It's a beautiful plant, but it also grows super fast and it's very adaptable as well. Another plant that is doing really well is this Philodendron Black Cardinal. This is the one that I bought from Lidl. I potted two of these up together and they aren't the fastest growers. They've only put out really one leaf so far. So I think it will probably be next year that we will see some more growth on this one now. But it's nice and healthy and strong, and it's really adjusted well to my environment. It's really one of those plants you have to view from the top. And this is my Hoya quinquenervia. I didn't think this one would do any growing this year, but look at that. It's starting to put out several new growth points. So maybe it will grow this year. I thought maybe it wouldn't take off until next year, but yeah, it seems to be having a little growing spurt. So maybe we will see some leaves. And then next to it, I have my Hoya verticillata black margin. This one has slowed down a bit now. It did grow quite a bit during the spring, summer, but it has slowed down a bit now. So I think it's going into its rest period. And this is my moonshine snake plant. And I just love how the new growth comes out with a kind of a white sheen on it. It really is pretty. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, but this is definitely one of my favourite snake plants. And then, lucky for me, my variegated peace lily has fully recovered. I did underwater it somewhat last year, and yeah, it just required a little bit of extra care this year to get it back to health. It was suffering from quite a bit of browning, and I've kept up with the watering, and it's now looking really nice. It's putting out some beautiful leaves with some lovely variegation. And yeah, this one here is Aglonema chartreuse pretty, and this was an Aglonema that I was looking for quite some time. Finally managed to get hold of one, and it's put out, I think, a couple of leaves since I've got it. I think there's actually more than one plant in the pot, so it's put out a couple here and there. And then over here is my Aglonema aqua green. Again, not the fastest grower, but it is putting out leaves. And then next to it here, we have this little Aglonema bamboo. Really easy care, this one. And a really cute Aglonema to add to the collection. And then we have Aglonema pastella. This one has some really striking variegation on it. I really do love this one. It's very pretty. And I love how it grows, the shape of the leaves on this one. And then we have my biggest Aglonema here at the back. This is Aglonema Silver Bay, and this one is still growing. It hasn't really slowed down. I wouldn't say it was the fastest grower, but you know, it does consistently grow, and it's still growing now as we go into autumn. But I just love this plant. I think it's beautiful with its silvery leaves. I really do love leaves with a silvery sheen to them. So this one kind of has everything I look for in an Aglonema, and it's really easy to care for as well. This is my Tradescantia Nanook, and this is another one that has really surprised me with how much it has grown this year, and it really has grown a lot. Even though Tradescantias are known for being fast growers, I was still quite surprised at how much growth this one had put out because, you know, it really is starting to trail somewhat. And yeah, I think I may have to give it a trim back next year, but I quite like how it looks in this disco ball planter. I think it complements the plant quite well, and I do like it when I find a pot that complements the plant. And then this is my Dieffenbachia compacta. I've had this one, I think, for a couple of years at least, and it's one of those plants that just consistently grows well and is really easy to look after. And just look at those stunning leaves. It's got such beautiful splashy variegation on there, and when the sun shines through this one, it really is pretty. This is definitely one of my favorite plants. And then we have here my purple passion vine, and this was one that I chopped back right at the beginning of spring, propagated it, and it's basically just grown back really nice and strong this year. And then next to it is my jade plant. Well, there's actually several in here. I decided to pot them all up together, so I've literally just planted them all into the same pot here, and I think I quite like how full it looks. Next to it is my Crassula lotus, and this is one of my favourite succulents. I don't have much of a soft spot for succulents, but this one, for some reason, I really love. I like how it's trying to climb out the pot as well. And next to it we have a Peperomia Optiban bicolour, and yeah, love that one. Next to it is the Peperomia obtusifolia. This one is growing so much this year, and it's getting really big glossy leaves as well. Over here is my variegated lipstick plant. I absolutely love this one. I have it here in the window where it can get lots of light, and yeah, it's growing really well and it seems to be really thriving. This is definitely one of my favorite plants this year for sure. I think it will be in my top favorites list of the year, definitely this year. And then this is another Dischidia. This was the first Dischidia that I got, Dischidia platyphylla, and it really has grown so much. It's really surprised me. It's become very full and it's really thrived. It's definitely grown much faster than I expected it to, and I really love it here hanging off the shelf. It has a really nice form to it, and I love the way it's kind of just putting out lots of new vines from the pot, so it's becoming fuller at the top too. Yeah, I love this one. And next to it is my Alocasia zebrina. Now I did repot this one this year, and this one seems to respond fairly well to repotting. It will usually lose a leaf or two, but then it comes back stronger. And it's hard for me to show you, but the leaves are huge on this one at the moment. I finally broke the code with my Anthurium clarinervium. It's actually grown really well for me this year. I was struggling a bit with it, but I think maybe I was underwatering it, and that was the mistake I was making. And in the middle there is also a little baby crystallinum as well. At least I think it's a crystallinum. So really pleased about that. And then over here we have my leopard lily. That's its nickname. It has this really cool kind of leopard markings on it. This one's been really easy. I literally knew nothing about this plant when I got it, but yeah, it's proved to be one of my easiest plants. Next we have Pilea peperomioides, and this was just a tiny baby when I got it too, and it really is thriving. There is even another little plant growing out of the soil there, which makes me super happy. But yeah, this one's been really easy to care for. And then over here I have my Hoya carnosa Crimson Queen, and this one hasn't been the fastest grower, but it has grown a few leaves and it seems to be happy. So yeah, we'll see what it does next year, but really nice Hoya. And then in the bedroom here, I just have a small Syngonium white butterfly. This is actually one that I propagated from my larger plant, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. At the moment, it's just sat here growing. I may give it away at some point because I already have one of these, but at the moment, I'm just seeing how it grows here. And then this is my yucca that I literally started with sticks. I basically cut this one right back over a year ago now, and this is how it's grown back, and it really is flourishing. This one gets a shower about once a month. It is starting to get a bit awkward to get in the shower, but it's well worth it because I like to make sure those leaves stay nice and clean. And yeah, it's starting to get big again, and it really is thriving after it's chopped back. Over here I have an Easter cactus. This one is really consistent with its flowering. It has finished flowering now, but it always flowers year after year. And yeah, it's just a really easy care plant. And it really is one of the least fussy succulents. And then this is my Thermatophyllum bipinnatifidum, and yeah, this one had a lot of thrips, and I'm pleased to say I actually did get on top of it, and it looks to be flourishing now. It is getting quite big. I mean, this one's also known as the tree philodendron as well, but yeah, it's growing some really nice growth, and it seems to have recovered from the pests, so I'm pretty happy with this one. It is definitely going to be one that is going to require more and more space. Then over here I have another Philodendron Brazil, and as I say, I love this plant so much. I do have two of them. This one is slightly smaller though, and it started out as quite a small baby when I got it, but yeah, it's growing well, loving life here. Over here we have a Scindapsus pictus, and again, this was just a tiny plant when I bought it, but just look how much it's growing. It's definitely starting to vine now, and it didn't really take that long either, so really happy with this one. I know a lot of you guys also love this one, and I think it's a really pretty one. Next to it we have the Philodendron Jose Buono, and I absolutely love this philodendron. I have moved it to this corner because it does basically need an entire corner to itself because it is growing a lot now and it's getting quite large. I mean, just look at this beautiful leaf. This was the last one that it put out before the current one. And yeah, a very fast growing philodendron, but one that does take up quite a bit of space. So you will want to make sure you give it its own little corner, but yeah, I love the speckly variegation on this one. Over here we have some rubber plants, Ficus elastica. I actually have two types in here. We have the Ficus elastica robusta, and then we also have the Ficus Belize ruby. And I just love combining different types of rubber plant. I think they look really good together, and they have the exact same care needs, so I think it just adds a bit of interest to the pot. I would say that I definitely prefer the Belize version. It's definitely easier than the Ficus tenechi. I really struggled with the Ficus tenechi, but this one I find really easy for some reason. I'm not sure why. Next to it we have a Philodendron white something. It could be a wizard, a pink princess, or a knight. I'm not entirely sure. It may be a couple of those, but it's growing really well. This new leaf that you see here, this one got stuck for a longest time and I had to help it out. It did get a little bit damaged as a result, but it was literally just stuck right in there and it was not coming out. But yeah, we'll see what this plant does next year. Currently it's doing okay. And then on the shelf here we have a Epipremnum Enjoy, and this one is growing quite well. I wouldn't say it's quite as fast as the other epipremnums, but it's still growing really well, and yeah, it is starting to vine now, and it's quite an interesting variety of epipremnum. And then next to it here I have my Alocasia stingray, and this one actually has just put out a new leaf. I think probably this is going to be the last leaf of the growing season though, because alocasias, they do tend to slow down at this time of year and start to go dormant. So I'm not really expecting another leaf from this plant now until next year. But yeah, this is a really interesting alocasia. And then over here I have peperomia. I really love this one. It has kind of really nice pastel colours. I did find one threat on this one. It was literally just one, and so it got sprayed and it seems to be doing okay. Bird of paradise there behind, and yeah, this one again started out as a teeny tiny baby, but it's growing quite nicely now, I think. One plant is growing more vigorously than the other. And then next to it you can see I have my variegated umbrella plant. This is another one that just doesn't seem to be growing very well, but I'm just persevering and hoping it will improve. One plant that is growing really well is this one. This is my Epipremnum aureum marble queen. And yeah, this one is currently on a 5-foot pole, and it isn't quite at the top of the pole, but it has grown more than I imagined it would, and it's certainly getting quite close to the top of that pole. So yeah, once it gets to the top of this 5-foot pole, that's it. I will not be giving it any more of an extension because it's already big enough. But this one is putting out some of the most stunning variegation. I really enjoy this plant. It grows so fast too. Definitely grows faster if you put it on a pole, but it just puts out such beautiful variegation, and it really is a super fast grower. Very resilient too. I do have it here where it can get plenty of light because my aim with this one is to get lots of that beautiful variegation from it. It really is very mottled and minty, and yeah, sometimes it even throws out some white leaves too. You never know what you're going to get with this one, and that's definitely something I like in a plant. But I am quite surprised at how much this one has grown this season, but pleasantly surprised. And yeah, just it's still growing now. It hasn't slowed down at all for autumn, so we'll see what happens. This is my philodendron Prince of Orange, and this one is another one that has really sized up this year. The leaves are definitely starting to get bigger, and I just love when the leaf first comes out. Look at that beautiful orange colour. This is the previous leaf here. You can see how it fades out. The orange comes out quite bright and then it kind of fades out. But yeah, this is one of those stunning philodendrons that I know a lot of you guys enjoy as well. But it really is beautiful, and just to see that beautiful orange colour and then as it fades out, it really is a fun plant to grow. I'm really happy with how this one has grown this season. This is my Aglonema Red Joy, and this one has put out a few leaves now. It's not the fastest grower, but again, Aglaonemas tend to be fairly consistent, and I'm just loving this one. I love how it has the green margins as well around the leaves. Begonia maculata is basically the only begonia I've ever been able to keep alive so far, and I'm pretty pleased with that. This one is really thriving. It's putting out lots of new leaves. You can tell which leaves are new because they're a bit lighter, and I just love how it sends out these new leaves kind of all scrunched up in a little pod, and then the little pod unfills and shows the new leaf eventually, and it really is beautiful. And yeah, just the way the dots on the leaves, it's just like they've been painted, isn't it? It just is a work of art, to me at least. And I love the angel wing shapes of the leaves too. Yeah, really happy with this one, and just super pleased that I've managed to keep at least one type of begonia alive this year. Another plant that I'm really happy to have added to my collection this year is Philodendron Silver Sword. And is that a bit of sport variegation there? I don't know. There's kind of a lighter silvery patch. I did check for pests and I don't see any. It seems to be on the top of the leaf. I don't know, but we shan't get too excited about that. But this one's just got the most stunning shaped leaves, and combined with that sort of silvery sheen, it's just absolutely gorgeous. I love this plant, and I'm really glad that I decided to repurchase it as well because, yeah, it's so pretty. And this is another of my favourites at the moment. This is my Syngonium elbow. I'm really surprised at how much this one has grown. It'll be interesting to see if it stops growing now we're going into autumn, but the amount that it's grown over spring, summer has really surprised me, and yeah, I'm just really happy with it. It's still putting out new leaves now, and look at the lovely splashy variegation it puts out. It's so interesting. It's almost like a painting, each leaf. I know I say that a lot, but it really is like nature's art, and I love how fast this one grows. I do keep checking it for thrips because thrips love syngoniums, and so far I only found one in summer, and I got straight on that, and they do seem to have gone now. I haven't seen any more, so I don't know, maybe it was just the one. Sometimes that happens, doesn't it? Another syngonium is the Syngonium Red Arrow, and I still haven't found the right pot for this one. At the moment, it's just in this one. It's growing quite quickly, actually. It's put out quite a lot of new leaves. I can't decide whether to leave it trailing or whether to give it something to climb, because it is putting out quite a few vines now, and it's sort of starting to look a bit messy, and I'm not quite sure yet whether I like that or not, but as it grows we'll see what happens, and yeah, I'll see what it does next year probably, and maybe get it climbing up something, or maybe leave it trailing, or maybe both, because I could probably propagate it and kind of make an extra plant. So we will see with that one. This is my Scindapsus exotica, and again, this one's not the fastest grower, but it is growing, and yeah, it is starting to vine now, so I can't complain really, but it's just one of those quiet sort of background creepers, and I think we'll probably have to wait a number of years before we see any progress with this one, so let's be patient, shall we? Thanks so much for watching today, guys. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and yeah, I will see you in the next video. Take care.